Oops. What's up, my people? This is ShowBizz the Adult. It's Friday, baby. All right, man, look. All right, man, look. I tried. All right, here we go. I did a video where I did a keys to victory for Errol Spence versus Shawn Porter. Check out the video, it's pretty good. But after that video, I got a few DMs from our show business partners saying, ShowBizz the Adult, there's no way Shawn Porter can beat Errol Spence. You know that. You know Errol Spence is going to beat Shawn Porter. Well, maybe you're right. Maybe you're wrong. In this video, I have at least two situations where Shawn Porter definitely beats Errol Spence. Coffee. And Shawn Porter doesn't do it by being Sandy Sadler or Jake LaMotta or Barney Ross or Tommy Hearns or Sugar Ray Robinson or Henry Armstrong. He does it by being Shawn Porter. But it starts with Errol Spence. And this is what I mean. When people think of Errol Spence, they think of a guy who's calm, cool, collected. Not me. I see Errol Spence as somebody who is extremely intense, very aggressive, extremely focused, who wants to be great so bad he can taste it. All he talks about is legacy. He's extremely prideful. For example, leading up to the Errol Spence versus Mikey Garcia fight, you had a lot of people, including myself, who said that Mikey Garcia was a better boxer. Errol Spence is bigger. And if Mikey Garcia was the same size as Errol Spence, then who knows? Errol Spence's chances to walk through Mikey Garcia and knock him out. Errol Spence, that wasn't his approach at all. He heard all the critics and said, you know what, I'm going to prove these doubters wrong. I'm going to outbox them. That's how great I am. Fast forward to Errol Spence and Shawn Porter in their face-to-face. And when Shawn Porter said, you couldn't knock out Mikey Garcia, what did Errol Spence say? I'm going to knock you out. Oh, I'm going to knock you out. That's Errol Spence. He wants to be great so bad he can taste it. So I'm going to prove the doubters wrong by outboxing Mikey Garcia. And then for all the doubters who said that I don't have punching power because I didn't knock out Mikey Garcia, I'm going to knock out Shawn Porter, a man who never been knocked out. Errol Spence. You know who that reminds me of? Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr. was a very prideful individual. He was going to prove all the doubters wrong. He even came out with a song, y'all must have forgot. Let's talk about that punch that ultimately ended Roy Jones Jr.'s career. The one against Tarver and Roy Jones Tarver 2. And I'm not talking about the punch Antonio Tarver landed. I'm talking about the punch that Roy Jones Jr. threw. If you look at that fight very closely and you look at the replay of when Roy Jones got knocked out, Roy Jones threw a right hand, Tarver being southpaw. He ducked that right hand and he was countering with the left. Roy Jones Jr., he was the first Matrix. Roy Jones Jr. saw everything in slow motion, and he had great reflexes and hand speed. When you look at that in slow motion, as Tarver is coming up with the left hook, Roy Jones got a soft guard up. And when he holds it up, he looks at the left hook. Look at it closely. I've seen that replay many times. Roy Jones is leaning back, and he looks at the left hook. And while the left hook is coming, he says, well, maybe I can fit my left hook in there. So in super slow motion, Tarver is coming up with the left hook. He leans back, look at that left hook. What goes to throw his, and Tarver is too deep. He lands his before Roy can land on Tarver, and he knocks out Roy Jones Jr. It wasn't so much the punch that Tarver threw, which it was one hell of a punch, but it was the fact that Roy Jones Jr. took that risk, took that gamble, took that chance as he was throwing that punch. Or Roy Jones Jr., if he had his head together, he wouldn't have thrown that shot. And you want to know why he threw that shot? The famous words, you have any excuses tonight, Roy? Roy was emotionally compromised before the fight started. The first fight was too close for Roy. Roy said, I'm going to knock this guy out. And he was throwing so many punches, kind of how he did against Montel Griffin. It was fireworks. He was just throwing all the punches he could and throwing punches like that left hook while Tarver was throwing his punch. He was emotionally compromised. Now, when you go to Errol Spence versus Shawn Porter, Errol Spence said, I'm going to knock you out. How Shawn Porter can win in this situation is Errol Spence being so determined, so focused, he wants to build his legacy, be so great that he goes for a knockout no matter what. And he gets caught by Shawn Porter and one of his explosive hooks. Let me tell you another way how Shawn Porter can beat Errol Spence. We just saw it. Last weekend, there was somebody else that was fighting. He was fighting, and he was considered to be the heavy favorite, and he's one hell of a fighter. And that's Tyson Fury against Otto. What happened there? Otto, with his crazy, sloppy, wild attacks, he ended up grabbing Tyson Fury and throwing a punch in there, like some kind of wrecking ball machine, some kind of determined, wild maniac. And he bust Tyson Fury open. Now, Tyson Fury, he won the fight easily. He would have won it even more easily if he didn't get cut. But that cut was very dangerous. He could have stopped Tyson Fury with that cut. And he didn't have to do it by throwing great and effective punches. Otto Wilding wasn't that effective at all if you look at the fight. But what he was effective doing is still being Otto Wilding, being wild. Or Otto Wilding, I'm sorry. Being wild. Grabbing him in the headlock and rubbing his forearm on his cut and sticking his thumb in his cut. And while they're holding, muffing his face and rubbing that cut around. He could have stopped the fight just by doing that. When you think of Errol Spence versus Shawn Porter, Errol Spence said, yeah, man, you can cut me. That's the only way you can stop me, with a headbutt, with an elbow. I said as a key to victory, Errol Spence got to make Shawn Porter fight going backwards. Errol Spence knows that. So in that attempt, Shawn Porter can easily come forward, launching himself forward, and one of those crazy launches can cut Errol Spence. And I'm talking about a punch. With a bad cut, Shawn Porter can stop Errol Spence too. So we need to really stop saying that it's going to be one-sided, that everyone knows Errol Spence is going to win. This is boxing. And not only can anything happen, but anything can definitely happen when you have two champions in there. Shawn Porter is an Otto Wilding. Shawn Porter is a WBC champion. ShowBizz the dope. Let me know what you all think in the comments below. I do have Errol Spence winning, but it's going to be a nail biter. I'm out.